Good evening, everybody. Welcome to It's a Crime. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Linda. And today we are going to, or I should say tonight, really, we are going to talk about the court case today in regards to Rob Wood and Mark Means and John Pryor. So I'm not going to make it a really crazy long night tonight. I have a lot of work still to do. I didn't anticipate that it would take this long in court today. It was basically from 9 to 5, so I was taking notes. My hand is sore, but I really want to get more information on Little Orson and Orrin West's case. So we're going to do a quick live stream. We're going to talk about this. You guys let me know, and you can weigh in on what's going on. So basically at 9 a.m., they had this hearing in regards to Rob Wood, and Mark Means and John Pryor are basically saying, get Rob Wood off the case for misconduct. So it was a really interesting day. I found some people, I know I did a community post and a lot of people are like, this is so boring. I can't sit through this of 8 hours or whatever it's been. So I thought we'd go through it. People are 4 a.m. in Holland. There you go. Welcome. Eyes open for a bit, and then I won't be too long so you can get some sleep. It is what a day in court. Yes, it totally is. But I had some smiles about John Pryor. They right away when they came into court, they were talking about how Chad and Lori chose not to attend this hearing, and they basically talked a bit about all that stuff. There were 2 people who were called upon today, and one of them was a forensic psychologist, and the other one was a professor in a law school, and so he teaches law students. So it was very interesting to hear their opinion. However, there's a little bit of, wow, who knew what was going to happen today, right? It was kind of weird. Because you're going, oh yeah, this is no big deal. And then you start hearing about it and you're like, oh, this guy has a point, this guy has a point. But at the end of the day, it's up in the air, I would think. The judge did not come to a decision today. They're going to reconvene on Friday at 1 o'clock. That is what is that? That's the 8th at 1 p.m. So John Pryor was being John Pryor, and he basically, I think I might have caught the screenshot for it because this was my favorite part in all of it. I legit saw the judge roll his eyes or try not to roll his eyes at John Pryor. It was pretty funny. That was my favorite part. So if you were just joining and you're not sure what's going on about this, basically both Mark Means and why can't I speak? Probably because my brain is fried from today. Mark Means and John Pryor were basically in court. They want to take Rob off of the case. They want him off. They said it's misconduct. They were saying he coerced. And let me just pull this up because I want to be correct in this. Coerce, unduly influence, coach, and or intimidate Lori's sister, Summer Shiflett. So they played the 18-minute recording, and you could hear Rob saying, thank you for meeting me. They talked a little bit about Chad Daybell. They talked a little bit about Lori, more like Rob did, and Summer weighed in a little bit as well. And then you can hear Garrett Smith, Summer's lawyer, in the background. So they first brought on, let me get his name, Dr. Davidson, and he's a forensic psychologist, and he's done it for years and years and years and years and years. So he had an interesting point of view on this meet and greet, so to speak. They were arguing that this was not a meet and greet. There were 2 important points, I thought. The forensic psychologist said, never have I seen anything quite like this. And the same goes for as well with the professor. And let me just go. I won't go through and bore you with every single detail because some of you have already watched it. But I want to know this first. Rob met Summer and Zulema. I'm wondering if Zulema's meeting was recorded because they only showed Summer, but they didn't really mention anything about Zulema, but it's the same attorney for Summer and Zulema, if you guys are following me. So same attorney, Garrett Smith, his clients are Summer and Zulema. So if he thought, this is weird, and he recorded Summer, which is what he said, he kind of said, well, I initially recorded Summer because, I want to make sure I had that recording because of for her. And then he said, I kind of find it odd what Rob was talking about, and then went from there. So people are having some very much opinions already. Mr. Smith, Summer, and Zulema Pastena's attorney is a real piece of work. Right away when he first came on, I was starting to scratch my head at first because he just was like, well, I don't remember when I recorded it, and I don't know if I've ever said this specifically because John Pryor was asking a bunch of questions. And then I thought, what? How can you not know? Like, you knew you were coming today. Did you not review it? But then he started getting into it. Garrett did a little bit. So that's fine. But I will say, though, Garrett wasn't like, oh, yeah, this guy's brutal and, he has to get off the case or anything like that. He was just stating he'd never fully agreed with John Pryor. In certain aspects, it wasn't like, yes, definitely. He would stop him. And he actually, to be candid, I would, I believe it was, this and that. So it was interesting. John Pryor wasn't fully on his game today. He was calling Rob Wood Mark Means, Rob Wood. And he was kind of going a little bit, maybe he was hearing the voices, like he said before, in the corner. But they did rip it apart, and they went bit by bit. So he had some interesting things. Now, let me just pull this here. Yeah, so what Garrett Smith said, the Summers lawyer, was he was recording to protect the client for perjury. He was talking about that. And yeah, he was concerned that the client is susceptible to perjury. It was weird. Then they were talking about an immunity agreement with Zulema. I didn't know about this, and this is the first I heard about it. If you guys heard about it, let me know in the comments below. But they were talking about that. So that's interesting. A little info snack I did not know about. Just checking your guys' comments because I know some people are fired up about this today. There you go. Means dropped his pen twice in a piece of paper and yawned several times. He was doing one of these for a little bit too. Oh boy, what a day. So they played that 18 minutes. Now, he did say, Garrett said he's never seen anything like it, and he's been doing this for 27 plus years. Let me see what else. Guys, I have like legit so many different things. When they played the 18-minute recording, it sounded at the end like Rob actually got emotional. I wasn't too sure if you guys picked up on that or not when they were talking about Tylee and JJ and the bracelets. It kind of sounded a little bit like that, but I could be wrong. Then they brought up LDS speak and righteousness, and John Pryor was getting heated in that. bombarding question after question. And he was saying, would that influence, because Rob says, well, I'm LDS, and he starts speaking about righteousness, and they're saying, they shouldn't even be bringing up religion. I do disagree to that, because I could see if it was a case where religion wasn't involved and it didn't make sense. But what they were saying in an all-round basis today was that you shouldn't be talking ever about religion. I disagree, because like in this entire case, but the whole thing is around their religion, meaning not necessarily LDS, meaning Chad and Lori's religion, which is started off as LDS and then went off to their numerous multiple probations. So I find that really weird. Yeah, so Jenny, exactly. Their religious beliefs have everything to do with this case. So this was brought up over and over about how he shouldn't have said that anything about this religion. So I was head scratching a little bit, because I was like, well, wait a minute, this whole case, exactly that. This is a component, a major component of this case. So I found that weird. Also, what they were comparing this to over and over was misconduct in trial. But by the end, after, the 7th hour, I'm starting to be vocal and like talking to my Mac. I'm talking to my computer going, but it's not at trial. It's not at trial. It's not in front of a jury. And they kept talking about that. So that drove me a little bit crazy. I don't know about you guys. Okay, so Penny, you make a good point. I thought Rob went outside the lines. He got too casual, I think, just my opinion. It's a good opinion, because I could see there's kind of two sides to it. I could see how in some aspects the defense are like, wait a minute, he's talking about this and this and this and this. And the forensic psychologist makes some excellent points. The other aspect is like, well, I could see Rob unintentionally doing this. It doesn't seem like he was intentionally doing this. I could see he was maybe trying to build rapport with her, maybe trying to soften the blow. I don't know. There's nothing to compare it to what he does in other instances. This is, and I'm sure you guys can all agree, a weird case. There's so many people involved. There's so many crazy beliefs involved. And so I'm not a lawyer, and I've never been to this as a lawyer to this meeting. So I can't say, what should have went down. From my understanding today, it was like, listen, this is not a regular meet and greet kind of thing. This was more like a soliloquy. They said something to that effect, where Rob did most of the talking and didn't really ask many questions to Summer. Now, to me, it almost seems like similar to what Rob would do in court, in the ways of, I guess not, like, yeah, I mean, when you hear it, I could see how they were just chatting, and maybe he just thought it was building rapport because it's a sensitive subject. But apparently, from even what the professor says, like, look, no, there's all kinds of things. It's walking a line. So John was talking about how it's completely unprofessional, and by him saying he's LDS, it's the purpose to gain favor with Summer. And yeah, but they kept putting it back. They kept comparing it to being in front of the jury, and it's not. So that's kind of annoying. John brought up Chad being wimpy and like he was going to pee his pants. That's what Rob Wood said. And I just can't even help but laugh because it's just like John is so angry about that. Hang on, guys. I got to take a drink. So it was very interesting. The basic bottom line, they kept pushing that, is that there were many elements of unprofessionalism and lines of misconduct, the law professor said, in a jury setting. And then he just said, he just walked a line, and he says, I would never tell my student, I would tell my students, actually what he said is, I'm going to make this, or I would make this as an example of what not to do. But they did hold their ground, both of the professor and the psychologist, and made sure to say, or, they were just saying, listen, I can't for sure say what his intention was because I don't know what Rob's intention was or Summer's intention was. He said, and Rob's attorney, Troy Evans, he made some good points. He's like, how could you guys even say this if Summer didn't even testify yet? Like, you don't know what she's going to say. So there was some very interesting things. They did bring up, this is Mimi says a good thing, why don't they just ask Summer if she felt intimidated? This is exactly what they were going to say. They're saying this is, because Troy says, well, how can we remedy this? How do we go forward in this? And that's what he says, well, you could ask her if that, if she felt coerced or whatever, and ask her that. And there was a couple things they were asking. Then they brought up Mr. Means, about Rob talking about Mr. Means and how it's disparaging. And I could understand some of that. This immunity thing I want to know more about. What do you guys think? Yeah, John got, Diane says John got mad at the judge a couple times, thought it was funny. When Rob said that one lawyer was not prepared and has never done a certain case, made me feel so awkward, so tense. Yeah, I mean, some of the things he was pretty casual at talking about, and they made a good point. It's like, well, you brought up some things like the death penalty, but in fairness, Summer asked about it, but they're saying, okay, he should have said, I'm not to speak about that, or, I'm not going to go into that, or whatever. So, yeah, Summer asked. Where'd you go? 7 hours of this grasping at straws. 7 hours. I sat through those 7 hours. My hand hurts. And I wrote down a whole whack of stuff. And I did find it interesting at parts. You guys know I like the analysis stuff. And so it was interesting to see his point of view, because he talks about being in the in-group and, come with me and that kind of thing. But he also mentioned, the psychologist mentioned, it could be conscious or subconscious that he's doing it. So it's not like Rob, how do I word that? Rob could have done it in a way that it was unintentional. He didn't realize it. I mean, if this should happen where Rob gets off of the case, okay, maybe he would learn a few things from this circumstance. However, I'm not convinced that he's going to be off the case after today. There's some wishy-washy stuff, yes, but they did bring up good points. They're like, well, to the professionals, have you ever seen this where the prosecution is off the case in a situation like this from an interview? No. Okay. And a lot of them is like, well, I've never seen the situation really ever for what we're going through today. Well, welcome to Lori and Chad. And it was funny, actually, who said that one of them, it might have been the professor, because he was like, with Lori Daybell, Vallow, or whatever we're calling her. I can't remember. It might have been him. I wrote it down somewhere, but I thought that was funny. You have to have a little humor in the day. Holy moly. Totally agree. Pryor annoyed the judge today. You could just see it on the judge's face, and he even held up his hands to Pryor up. And Jonathan, did you also see, and you guys, did you also see there was a point where he said he objected and something, and I actually saw the judge sit back and like he just rolled his eyes like, oh, I'm gonna lose it on this guy. He was pretty good, but I don't blame him. I was just like, stop. Of course you're objecting. Of course you're objecting. And then the judge be like, what are you objecting to? So yeah, I have a hard time watching Pryor too. He annoys me. And then when you get the quite franklys, you're like, watch out, quite frankly. Yeah, Dr. James Davidson. That was interesting. But here's where I have a problem. Okay. This Dr. Davidson reviewed a transcript that was not the official transcript. The official transcript that was submitted as evidence, I think number one, or number two, one of the two. It's not the same. And I noticed when I did my video on this, when I just had the transcript, and then I was noticing that there was a few pieces missing, like where they interrupt or whatever. It wasn't on that. I was like, this doesn't seem right. But it confirmed it today, because there's 2 transcripts. So if you're basing your professional opinion on an unofficial transcript, how could that be right? Because it's not the same. However, Troy brought that up. That was his point. And they compared one little bit. Okay, so it was throughout, but this one little bit they compared. And Dr. Davidson said, yes, I would still say that this is the same thing. But they didn't go through all of it. So I'm with Troy on that, where I was like, you know what? He's making a really good point. It's not the official transcript. So you're using your expertise on something that, well, there was a sentence put in, and it had to do with Chad. And there was an extra sentence in there. And I was like, you know what? This is a good point. Really good point. So, and it was just interesting. Yes. Okay. So Be Real says, yes, but the doctor based his review on the audio recording, and the transcript he was only using as a reference. Correct. But let's say you're reading or you're listening to the audio, then you're sitting, because, okay, I'm only speaking from myself. This is how I do it, and it could be completely opposite to Dr. Davidson. But if I'm listening to a recording, I listen to quite a few times, absolutely. But when I'm looking through and analyzing my stuff, I'll look on there and look at the transcript. That's what I do. I actually transcribe it, and then I sit and look at it, and then I go back to the recording. So yes, there's discrepancies, and perhaps Dr. Davidson, totally did that, right? However, Troy Evans has a very good point, and he should bring that forward, and he should beat that like a dead horse, like those guys are. Bring it up. And there was some really good comments in my community post. There was one that Sandy says, and she says, it is my understanding that Summer requested to meet with Rob Wood. So she met with him to solely set him up, in my opinion. This is her opinion. While she is that determined not to see justice for her murdered niece and nephew, let's not forget she did absolutely nothing to look for those kids when they were missing and discouraged others to stay out of her sister's business. To me, all of this spells that Summer never gave a hoot about those kids. Okay, now what I want to bring up about that is she was talking about maybe this was a setup. Now, that's not the only person that said that in here. And it's just very interesting. I would be interested to know what it was with Zulema. Was it the same kind of conversation or not? And maybe if it wasn't, maybe that's why it wasn't submitted, because it wasn't that kind of conversation. So I don't know. Yeah, he provided the unofficial transcript. How convenient. Why aren't you providing the official transcript that you're submitting to the court? But instead, you're submitting it to the professionals, the unofficial transcript. That does not make sense to me. I think that's an issue. That's like, it's an issue. Oh, sorry, I gave you the wrong DNA of the person. Sorry. It's not quite. It's not quite. It's just the sister, but it's not the actual person. No. I would totally take that till the cows come home on that, or try. So, Crystal says, I think this whole thing will be dropped and I hope the judge sees the ridiculousness. It's a defense just trying to make it so Zulema and the sister can't do witnesses. Maybe they taught. I don't know what the rest is saying, Crystal, but I get what you're saying. So that I have a problem with. Okay, so let's see what else. They went through the different models he was talking about, what he used, the psychologist, through his analysis. And it was very interesting about how Rob would say something, and then he said it would bring him into the inner circle. But he was talking about, and they never clarified this, if it wasn't known to the general public. And I think he was talking about at that point bringing murder charges to the table. So, wow, it's fascinating. It is fascinating, the statements to me, and listening to what they say and, why a person says that. I almost think, just from watching Rob or hearing Rob, it was almost to me that he was seeming like building rapport. And maybe when he sees it back, maybe he'll see it differently now, what he heard, what the psychologist said. But I started doubting a little bit today, going, oh man, I hope he doesn't get off the case in some aspects, because he really does care for the children. I've seen him. We've seen him, and pushing it like, listen, it's not just about convenience for having the joinder. It's actually, for the children and the people involved, the victims. He's always said that. So it's been a long day, that's for sure. But I don't know. I hope he doesn't feel defeated in this, because I think this could go either way. However, I am going to beat this again. It wasn't in trial, and it wasn't in front of a jury. So they keep bringing it up. Well, this was in a jury, but it wasn't. That's like saying, well, if the killer was actually on a boat instead of at the house. No, it's two different things. No. Now, from my understanding, and I give it to the psychologist and I give it to the law professor, where he was saying, walking a line. That's more the professor saying, yeah, no, I would teach my students, this is not what you do. However, it's still not in front of a jury. And it was an interview with Summer. It wasn't an interview with Melanie Pulowski. So anyways, I don't know. I get mad. Oh, love you too. nice to see all you guys in here. Yeah, maybe Wood was not going to use her as a witness and therefore just had a casual meeting. So this is the thing why I want to know if what was said was Zulema too, because they certainly didn't include that. So there's some weird things here. Okay. The dog's barking. Yes, I know. Okay, so let's see what else, you guys, because I'm reading my chicken scratch for 7 hours. My hand is sore. It was very fascinating. I know I keep saying that, but I found it. I know it was an impromptu live tonight. I wasn't sure how long it was going to take. To be honest, I didn't think it was going to take 7 hours, and also Friday afternoon. I was supposed to get my recording done for Little Orson and Orrin West, and so now I'll be staying up late tonight to try and get that done. April says, Rob is an amazing advocate for Tylee and JJ. This is just grasping for a life raft because this case is not going well for them. Let's talk about that for a minute. Okay, so prior to this, before all this going down with Rob Wood, wasn't looking so good for the defense, in my opinion. And you want to talk about unprofessionalism, let's talk about that. Mark Mean's tweets aren't exactly professional conduct. So Rob Wood's played by the book. From our point of view, what I've seen his documents, we've seen nothing, no crazy, out of the ordinary, weird stuff he's done. He didn't go take down all the children's stuff off Chad Daybell's yard. That was John Pryor to take down the memorial. And so, I mean, really, we haven't seen any of that, okay? So from the defense point of view, I mean, that recording that came out from Lori, he had to go find somebody to put under the bus, right? What are you going to do? Guys, we're going to have to do something. Things are heating up. Let's get this guy off. Oh. So I want to know what kind of conversation Mark and John had, potentially, did they, with Garrett Smith before? Did they? Let's find out who Zulema and Summers' lawyer is, and let's have a little chit-chat. Did they? Why would Garrett Smith be so concerned about this? He did say it was odd. He's never seen this kind of thing. And I think from doing my homework, it was, I want to say about a couple months ago, I think Rob Wood has been a lawyer for, I feel like 6 years. I think it's only been 6 years. Don't quote me on that, but if you guys know, let me know. And I don't know, how many has Rob done of these? I don't know either. But I feel like it's a little bit of a, let's go on the attack because we need something. And, pick a straw, any straw, like I said in one of my videos. So, all right, so let's keep going. You guys can tell me what you think too about all that. It's kind of so weird, right? Yeah, the recording said it was only a partial recording. He's saying that it was, we weren't sure how long it was before because it was like a hello, in the lobby kind of thing. And then they went down to sit down. Okay, really? Was it? Don't know, right? Yeah, I have a couple issues. I really thought that Troy, he made some good points, but I thought he would have said more. Oh, where is it, you guys? I have a lot of notes. I did like point by point, legit. Yeah, I said I've never done anything. I've never seen anything like this. I've done this for years. That was from the psychologist, the forensic psychologist. Sorry, guys. I know there's going to be quietness for a second. Oh, we found out he gets paid $275 an hour, hired by Miss Vallow. I think even if they manage to get Rob Wood out, they will just get a prosecutor in to roast their butts. Ultimately, this case is the case is in the evidence. Terry wants to know if Pryor is as annoying in his personal life as he is in his professional life. Yes. Okay, let's talk about this for a minute. Speaking of professional life, I find it very interesting that John Pryor is talking about misconduct and professional behavior because he got in some caca quite a few years ago at his office, and he was in deep doo-doo. And so I'll have to pull up that little info snack on that. He was in trouble for okay, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it because just in case I'm wrong, but I know I read it. Okay, anyways, we'll figure that out. It's going to take me 5 hours to do that. We'll figure it out. But yeah, he got into it. Yeah, that's what I think, from sexual misconduct. Yeah. So, but he got in trouble big time. And it was in his office, and I think it was from a client in there. I got to reread it, okay? And so I find it interesting how angry he is for the misconduct that Rob Wood's doing. Maybe you need to zip your lip about it, because let's talk about it, you know? Yeah, I got to remember exactly, because he got in a lot of trouble. So and he was talking about ethics. Well, didn't you teach ethics in the first year? When was it that you taught ethics? Well, Linda, what was your biggest takeaway from today? I love your insight. Hello, Vistamar. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. My biggest takeaway, the professionals made a lot of good points. But I'm not fully convinced that Rob Wood's going to get off the case. I think it'd be a little bit of a learning lesson in terms of, okay, maybe next time I will do this and this and this. But I don't think that it's a shoe-in yet. I was a little nervous this morning when the forensic psychologist finished. It was a little nerve-wracking because I'm going, ooh, okay. But I'm hoping on Friday afternoon, Troy Evans comes like barreling with a bunch of things, because I felt like he could have done a little more, because there was opportunity there. But at least now Rob Wood would know, you know, there's a trust factor there too. It's hard, man. It's just so hard. So so here we go. This is where Troy comes in. This is what I loved, okay? Troy Evans comes in. This is after break. And he says about the inner circle is what the psychologist was talking about. He goes, how do you know that it's not public information or it is? How would you know? He goes, if it's not public, like you don't know that. You don't know if it's public or not. You don't know that information. You weren't present at the hearing. You don't, how would you know? I found that was, yes, you go, that's true. Because he was saying in his report that it was public information and he shouldn't have told her that. But it's like, well, how would you know? If you haven't talked to anybody, how would you know that? I thought that was brilliant. Then there was the unofficial, and they said there's a discrepancy throughout the entire report because of the different things that was said. It was interesting. Can't believe it was 7 hours long. And then so we have the affidavit from Rob Wood saying, I didn't coerce or unduly influence. And what the psychologist is saying is whether he did or whether he knew it or not, he did in some elements of wanting to bring her in the circle by making the remarks he did about Mark Means. The psychologist is saying he's doing it possibly unknowingly because he's saying, like, come with me, don't go with him. He doesn't know what he's doing, and you can trust me. Thank you, Texas Sweet Bee. I like your little profile pic. Is so cute. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you. And I see a couple people are becoming members. Welcome to my crime ring. Yes, he did. He said we will be filing conspiracy for murder charges. He said they're coming. So yeah, it was just interesting how he said, like, listen, how would you know if it was public or not? How would you know that? And then you're putting in a report. So I like that he did that. There was another thing that I thought of, and I wrote it somewhere. I hope I have it. I hope it's easy to find, because I thought of it going, he should have asked this question, or I wanted him to ask this question. And maybe it was at, I'm going to find that eye rolling too, just for you guys. Maybe I'll make it into a little emoji. Okay, let's see. Okay, this is where Samuel Newton came in. He's the law professor, and they were talking about how he listened to the recording and the transcript and all that. He said the prosecutor should be interviewing witnesses. They talked about sorry, I know I'm reading and trying to talk at the same time, so hang on. Again, Pryor talks about Chad being wimpy and about to pee his pants. And he's saying, well, with a jury, it wouldn't be tolerated. Yeah, but they're not in front of a jury, okay? It's apples and oranges. It's not in front of a jury. We've seen Rob Wood in court. We've seen him in court. Quite frankly, John Pryor, Rob Wood in court conducts himself very professionally. He always has, from what we've seen. So we don't know the intention that day. Maybe he was just building rapport. I don't know if that's the right or wrong way to do it. These guys are saying, no, it's not. But what was the basis of the meeting? Was it just for a meet and greet, or was he just breaking it down for her. I mean, if she asked to be with him and he's talking, maybe she said, well, just, tell me how it's going to be. I don't know. But don't forget also, Rob said there seems to be things missing in here. So that's interesting as well. So we'll see what they have to say. Lisa says, Evans will break this down on Friday. Judge Boyce will not ditch Rob. I don't think so. I think there's a possibility he won't. At first, this morning, going, uh-oh. But then I'm going, I don't know. This is more ethics stuff and subtle pressure. He says he can't say misconduct. He doesn't know the intentions of both Rob and Troy. But he does say he would tell his students to avoid this as much as you can. Meaning that as a situation. He says, when you push the ethical line, it opens a door. I want to find the part where Troy Evans was asking about, well, what do we do? But he did use the word coaching. He did. And he said it could be undue process if Summer changed her testimony and if the witness testified falsely. Here's where Evans says it. Troy Evans says, what's the remedy to coaching? Where did I see it? Because he was asking, well, what if she was never called? That kind of thing. And have you ever seen a prosecutor disqualified? They did talk about the options. They said if Rob went off the case or if he actually opted out. Then Mark Means went and talked, I don't know. Yeah, what's his name? Newton. Samuel Newton says, this is a classic example of what not to do. He doesn't think it crosses the line of professional misconduct because he said it's not in front of a jury. But he does say that it's unprofessional. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I know it's impromptu. I've been sitting and watching this court case all day, had a little bit of bite to eat, and then thought, well, I'm going to climb on a live, and then we can a little chit chat about this. Tomorrow, I'm going to be doing the Orson and Orrin West case. I really want to dive into that. I've been spent 4 or 5 hours yesterday on their interview. So I really want to have that video up. I was going to do it today. However, 8 hours or 7 hours in this court thing took it for lots of talking. Yeah, lots of talking for 7 hours. It was mostly Pryor saying the same thing over and over again. Betty makes a point. Really doesn't matter with Mr. Pryor. Other lawyers think he's a good lawyer, and I have to agree. I think I've heard Scott Reich actually say too that he does some good lawyering, John Pryor. I just don't like him, but that's my opinion. Far better than Means. Well, yeah, Means is a civil lawyer, right? It doesn't matter what Mr. Pryor did before that got him in trouble. Actually, I just find it humorous how he's pushing ethics you know, I know he's just doing his job, but do you know what I'm saying? He's pushing his ethics and moral things, and he's the one to talk. Okay, I'm gonna cough. Hang on. That's what I want to know. What were the true intentions of Garrett Smith in recording that conversation? I feel like he wanted to insert himself into a high-profile case. I don't know that he wanted to insert himself into it. I'm just curious how that all began. He's saying that he thought it was kind of weird that the deputy was with Rob Wood, and so he decided to record. But he also said he wanted to record to protect, you know, his client and that kind of thing. So I don't know. Yeah, I found this the same. Creepy how much Summer sounds like Lori. Well, they're sisters, right? But they do. There was a couple of bits she sounded a lot like her for sure. Thank you, Linda. The news from above message from Janice. Okay, I don't know where that is. So reading again, hang on. Okay. Yes, the mods are awesome. Thank you so much to all my moderators helping out. They rock it. We keep it classy in here. And everybody saying thumbs up. Everybody give the thumbs up, please. So that's pretty much what happened today. I hope that Troy Evans has a few things that he wants to, you know, from different angles. I wish I wrote this down. I know I did, but I wrote something else on that I wanted him to talk about today. And I can't remember. There was a lot of repetition. They made one comment about you got caught, and the professor says that's what it feels like, and then there was a big objection there. And then basically Friday afternoon at 8, the 8th at 1 p.m. So we will forever now refer to the infamous judge's eye roll. That was the best today. I saw it, and I think he was trying so hard, but you could it's just like, John. But look at that. I did that in 53 minutes. You know, I thought about trying to stream it, and then I was like, no, forget it. I'll just do it. And oh no, I didn't cut my hair. People are asking me to cut my hair. There we go. So that's that in a nutshell. What do you guys have to say about it? What else are your thoughts? Because it's just, I think they're just going to keep trying for whatever they can. Unfortunately, this happened. I don't know. I don't know how Rob Wood typically interviews. From the sounds of it, I mean, he may be okay. This is the worst part of the recording, in my opinion. I wonder if I have I have it somewhere. Okay, maybe he shouldn't have said about, you know, Mark Means lies about me. But I don't think at the end of the day, I really don't think Rob Wood's intention is malicious or of a manipulation. To me, it was just like him stating this is how it's going to go down. Because don't forget, she wanted to talk to him, and she even says in there, she says, well, I don't know because I love everybody on both sides. So it was almost like him giving her the breakdown of what's going on. So I mean, again, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know, but it just sounded like he's like, okay, here's what's going on. Here's the thing, and he didn't lie about Chad being wimpy. We know he is, and probably would pee his pants because he runs at every chance he gets, even though John Pryor doesn't think he'd run, but Chad's a runner. All he does is run. So yeah, that's right. Lee, that's exactly it. Summer asked him, and you're saying Summer asked him in an attempt at fishing about the death penalty. He answered, yeah, she asked him. And they're saying, no, what you should have said was, I cannot talk about that. I can't answer that at this time. So, and they even said, have you ever seen a prosecutor disqualified? Troy Evans asked that to the law professor. He says, have you seen it for falsifying and seen volunteering recusing herself? He says, never seen that in court, never had to rule on this type of interaction. So everybody's saying they've never seen this kind of thing. They've also said they've never seen this kind of thing from Rob's point of view either for this meet and greet, but maybe that wasn't the intention. Maybe that wasn't the intention that day. Summer asked to meet him. Maybe he was giving her the breakdown. I don't know. How could he be so far off? Right? I don't know. Hello, nice to see you. So they're saying, he's done all this. The downside to the defense side is, I believe, you gave these unofficial transcripts to the professionals to do an analysis on a report a transcript that has discrepancies. It's not the official one, and it wasn't correct. Because, okay, if I'm saying the dog walked across the street and then he went in the door, but there's another sentence going, the dog crossed the street, went to the house, and then went in the door. You know what I'm saying? There's missing components. And that's what they said. There's missing, like it's in the wrong order and it's missing. So how could you do a 100% analysis on something if it's not on the document what was submitted? I hope the judge is going to be like, yeah, that's not good. Regardless of what the outcome is, still not right. That's not the official one. The other one should have been officially submitted if that's the case, but it wasn't the official one either. You can't. That's not official. I'm using Brent says dog walked what? I'm just using that example. You can't go on it because it's not complete. Yeah, okay, I love Rob would probably change a few words in retrospect, but that doesn't mean he was unprofessional. In no way did he disregard Summer's feelings. I feel like he was compassionate, something that some of them lack. He showed compassion, and maybe I think at the end, I feel like he got a little bit emotional. It sounded like it, but I'd have to re-listen to it when she was giving Tylee and JJ's bracelets, and she was, can I give you these? And they were talking about that at the end. So who let the dogs out? Okay, so you know what I'm saying? So I think the defense is pushing hard, but they're, as a quick recap, the defense is pushing hard for Rob Wood to get the heck out of there. They're using, if you were in trial, this would be misconduct. And if you were in front of a jury, this would be misconduct. But they weren't. So to me, this is like, no. I don't know what Summer did after that, if she changed whatever she was feeling. But in this recording, she even says, I have my own ideas about Chad Daybell. So that right there is like, I'm not going to be, not that he is, but I'm not going to be manipulated or that, because I can make my own mind up. So I would love, now, before I say this, just so you know, this professional, this psychologist was hired by John Pryor. So I would love to also have this psychologist go, okay, point taken. What about this part and this part and this part and this part? What about that? What does that say? And maybe he would say, yes, in this area and this area and this area, this is him, da, 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 da. You know what I mean? So I want to see that other side of it. Let's go line by line. Well, minus what you said, for the defense, but let's see what you have to say to his benefit then, and show me that side of it, because you see him being very respectful. He talked about Tylee at one point because Summer asked about Tylee. Summer asked, I want to know about where we are at with Tylee. And he said very respectfully, she's at the FBI crime lab, and we're not sure if we're ever really going to know. We may know, we may not know the details, but she's there. And he was very, very respectful. So this isn't a disrespectful attorney. I feel like maybe he was building rapport with her, and maybe that's a no-no in the law world. As a lawyer, I don't know, but it's a shame, because I don't think there was any ill intent. Now, here's the other thing I was just thinking about. Okay, if Garrett Smith and Summer were going to meet Rob, which they did, and she requested, and that's what they're saying, she requested it, but he's saying, well, I got a call from Rob and that they're going to come and they'd like to talk. So who knows, right? Garrett knew he was going to record. Regardless, he knew he was going to record. Did he tell Troy Evans, if you're watching, did he tell Summer, I want you to ask about the death penalty, and I want you to ask about Tylee? Let's just say, for example. Could have. So in that aspect, maybe Rob felt like he'd need to give her an answer instead of just saying, no, I'm not going to. Right? So maybe there's a few things that hopefully Troy can talk about on Friday. I'm going to have to spend, like, during the night, I'll be waking up going, oh, this is what he should ask. I hope he asks this. That's right. This is exactly it. Where are you, Silver? Silver Traveler says, Summer's attorney never objected to anything. I wonder if it's legal to record other people when you're in a police station. Yeah, they talked about that, about the laws, and typically you wouldn't record another attorney, but you can. And one sec. Troy Evans makes that point. You never objected to anything. You didn't say, hey, like, time out, let's not talk about this. This isn't inappropriate, or this is not the time. He did not once do that. So what was Garrett Smith's intention? Was it just to record? He said his spider senses, I call it spidey senses, he said his spider senses went off when he saw the deputy with Rob Wood, and so decided to record. Interesting. Did he know he was going to record for a different reason? Because maybe Rob's known for a really nice guy and, build rapport with clients or people or whatever. Maybe he felt like that, because who knows, right? So what was Garrett Smith's intention behind that? And did Mark Means and John know that he was going to record and see where the chips went? And he didn't say, okay, if Garrett Smith is an attorney for 27 plus years, and he didn't feel like this was appropriate, wouldn't he say, hey, we're getting off track, let's get back on track? Why wouldn't he say that? Why would he just let him go? And if this was so far left field, if this was so far, why not rein him in? This isn't what we came here for today. Let's talk about this. Why not? Now, they did say they counted. I think the only question that Rob asked was, do you know Vallow Daybell? So there wasn't very many questions. According to the law professor, he should have asked open-ended questions to hear what Summer had to say. Garrett Smith should have earned his money and counsel his client, and we wouldn't be talking about ethics. Yeah, Garrett testified that when he realized it was getting out there and offensive to his client is when he began recording. But he said that he started recording when he got into the room, and then he said they were standing. Yep, this is correct. Shivani says, Summer and her mom lied to police about the last time date when they talked on the phone to Tylee and JJ. Yep, they lied because they said on October 1st, I believe it was, they said they talked to JJ on the phone, and she provided like a 93 or 97 minute record of her phone. Doesn't mean she talked to JJ, which was impossible because he was gone already for a week, just over. So that's a lie. I found out, though, after that remark she made about that, they went and got a search warrant for the house for Janice. So there's some questions too for the other side. Lisa says, why did he record it? Because he saw a deputy? Nope. Because it was a setup, more likely. Isn't Smith a friend of Barry and Janice? Good question. I don't know. That's a very good question, isn't it? We should find that out. Let's find that out. I'm going to grab my little handy dandy notebook. Let's find that out. I mean, Summer and Zulema both know them, but I don't know how they connected. You guys might know. That's not going to be good, is it? Michaela, the guy that murdered his family, never heard about this. Is that the one that I was just talking with on Profiling Evil the other night, or is that the case that just happened? If it just happened, I don't know about it. But I'd love to hear about it. Barry and Janice is Summer and Lori's parents. Melanie P. used Garrett Smith in her custody. Oh, yeah. Was it? I knew I saw Garrett before. In all the hearings? I can't remember. Blues Clues. Blues Clues, Blues Clues. What would have happened if Rob Wood had secretly recorded them? He would be allowed to record them because of the one person, however you word it. I'll be looking at that security video, missing person. Thank you. That's what I'm going to dive into tonight about that security video, because today was kind of all used up. So I hope they can get, if they have 2 days, I hope they can get to the bottom of this, and Troy does, because there's a couple things where you start to go, wait a minute, let's back up a bit. Single party consent state. Thank you, Joseph. Like, however you word it. That's right. He was. Sandy says Mr. Smith was joking himself in the third person. It didn't seem he tense and worried about his client too much. Yeah, you're right. He was at one point, he made fun of it because they were saying about Julie Rowe. Summer says something to the effect of, well, when Julie Rowe was talking in the third person, I was like, and Garrett says Garrett doesn't like when somebody talks in the third person, and Garrett was the one who's saying it. So he was making a joke. So I didn't think he was that concerned, and he actually said that, and then they kind of moved on from that, and that's when Rob immediately went to, well, okay, well, thanks for meeting me today. He didn't go and joke in with that or nothing. So hopefully those murder charges are coming. They're still not yet. Rob Wood alluded to that in the recording, that they're coming. Conspiracy charges. So I don't know. So Melanie used him too. That's why I was wondering where I saw Garrett before. So that's even fishier, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, there's something going on here. It's really weird. It's really weird. The recording is legal. They're allowed to do that, even when one person doesn't know. You guys are so smart. Okay, let's see. So he was the attorney. Man, I was wondering today. CJ. He was getting mad. Man, he gets riled up. And then I love it because he gets riled up and he's like, objection. And the judge is like, he's like, sustained. And then he just turns his head. He's like, I'm pulling up my sleeves. That's it, you guys. Let's go. We're going in. Let's get into it. Yeah, see, Gulf Coast Girl says, I don't think Rob Wood was being anything but compassionate to Summer. That's how I feel. I feel like he was being compassionate, and he had compassion. He was not being disrespectful. He was being careful with his words when it came to the death penalty, when it came to Tylee. It wasn't disrespectful. He was professional. I just think maybe some of his choice of words, perhaps, when he was like, talking about Mark Means, in one hand, he may feel like he was being informative. Here's the deal. Mark Means is not a criminal lawyer. Maybe the lying bit, he shouldn't have said that, but okay, we all say things sometimes that are stupid or that are, maybe not the right things to say. We all do. I know it's just hard. It's hard. I can see some points of the psychologist, but then, like I said before, there's a problem that it's an unofficial transcript that he was given. Don't think that's right. Mark Means should know better and probably does know better, but didn't. And he gave him the unofficial transcript, which to me is like, no, apples and oranges. If you are going to give a professional something, you give the same thing what you give to the court, or sorry, what you give to the court is what you give to the professional, right? He did say Means was a good guy. He did say it. He just said he wasn't competent to do that. I mean, that's not even disparaging. He's not. He hasn't done that before. I don't know. Mr. Pryor is, where did I see? Mr. Pryor's out for blood. He sure is. They won't stop. Bev says, glad you're keeping us up in the loop. I got too tired and gave up when they went to lunch. No, I troopered it the whole day for you guys. So Idaho does have the death penalty, so we'll see what that's going to be, but there has to be a murder charge first. Trial's still together. There still has to be the hearing for motion to dismiss. That's not going to happen. You can find the link to watch that 7 hours on East Idaho News. Aw. I do that to my little boy, and I go like this, love you, and he gets so shy, and he's like, so I purposely do that constantly. Suzanne says, Garrett L. Smith, this lawyer was disciplined by a state licensing authority in 2017. I would love to know a little more about that. Rastrick says, gotta go back and rewatch the stream, but wanted to say hi, Linda. Thanks, Raina. Thanks for the super chat. Nice to see you. Yeah, it is nonsense, isn't it? A lot of people in my comments today on the community post was saying, oh my gosh, what a waste of taxpayers' money. That's like over and over is what I saw too as well. Yeah, okay, so what you guys weigh in, okay? So Jean says, I don't think the judge will remove Rob Wood on the grounds he didn't do any illegal misconduct. Illegal misconduct, okay. So you guys let me know in the chat right now if you think that Rob Wood is going to get kicked off the case. And give a thumbs up as well. No, no. Just tell me in there. If you think he's not going to get kicked off the case, give a thumbs up. Kathy says they talked in nothing but constant circles, 8 hours of expensive wasted court time, a lot of wasted money. It was a lot of repetition, a lot. And at one point, they were actually getting the psychologist to read the transcript. And so at this point, the judge is like, okay, look, I have that. We all have that. Like, you don't have to read it. Okay, you guys are saying no. Okay. Won't be. Woods will not be removed. It was 8 hours of repetitive rubbish. No, he's not going to be killed off the case. Okay. Okay, wait. My cousin Vinny could be the prosecutor and she'd still go down. I'm assuming you mean like literally my cousin Vinny, the movie, right? Just a okay, somebody says no. Carla says no, just a warning. Becky says it's not enough to remove him. Julianne says, Linda, my brain is absolutely shot after watching this today. I had to stop and rewind so many times because I was often so mind blown at other times and was confused by what they were trying to get at. It's the same thing. Yeah, 7 hours. I was like, man, but I don't want to miss anything, you know? Oh, Gerald says bye, Woods. Woods is staying. Gerald's still saying see ya. I mean, he'll learn, right? If there's certain things, but hi, Scott. I haven't seen you in a while. Nice to see you. It's more interesting watching grass grow than listening to them today. See, I took one for the team, okay? I was on there all day. A lot of speculation today. That's true. They were objecting everywhere. Okay, so where did I see that? Annie says, letting someone know they're LDS in a case based on religion is not an issue. I didn't think it was an issue either. Like he's just like, I'm LDS. Okay, great. So do you like coffee or tea? They're like, you don't talk about religion, but this whole thing is religion. This entire thing is religion. I don't understand. But maybe what the psychologist is saying, well, you know, he could be doing an inner circle model, meaning, you know, I'm on your side, I'm LDS, like this is, you know, or come on my side kind of thing. Don't talk to the defense. Don't go with them. Lake Superior says, I thought I was watching the movie Groundhog Day. Oh. Four Sons mom says, where did I see you? Where did I see it? Such a boring 7 hours, we'll never get back. I know. Hello, Bruce. Thank you. 1,300 people hanging out with us tonight. And I just wanted to get on and chat about today because, well, we got to chat somewhere about it. And it was a long 7 hours. So tomorrow, I would like to do the Orson and Orrin West case. There's a lot of information. I have a video just roaring to get out, and then I'd like to climb into some of that other information that we're learning. People are emailing me, and I so appreciate you because I need your help to send me as many links as you can. I just don't think there's a chance that Rob can get out or that will be kicked off, but I just don't think he will. Only because it was in an interview, and I don't think it's as bad. Like I said, there's the issues they're bringing up. There's a few points, obviously, that the psychologist is making. I wonder if Rob is surprised at some of the things. He's like, well, that's not what I meant. But maybe it was a subconscious thing. In my opinion, they only went there with the purpose of getting this recording. I think Summer is more concerned about Lori than she cares about those kids. Yeah, the rat tweet. Remember that? That's what from Mark means. I know. Woods needs to show his face in court just to remind Lori of Charles. I know, right? Remember I did a comparison in my community tab? I couldn't believe it. There was like, we put Charles and oh my gosh, I just lost his name, and Rob together. It kind of reminds you of that. Absolutely. He needs to stay. Smith got a 30-day suspension and 2-year pristine for failing to represent a client he was paid $6,500 to represent. Skipped hearings, didn't inform client of hearings, so that 2 bench warrants issued. Huh. I think he was showing compassion as well. There we go. Sweet. So Scott Reich did a quick live today, and he also doesn't think Rob Wood will be taken off the case. Yes. Good. Good. So let's hope Troy Evans asks those questions. What would you like to see Troy Evans ask on Friday? There's some important things here. Mimi says, I don't believe today merits him being kicked off. I don't, at the end of the day, I mean, maybe it's more hope. I don't think he will either. I think they're going to weigh in with some very important points, but it depends on what the intention of that meeting was there today, that day too, right? Who's helping the psychologist? Well, we know John Pryor's paid him. Troy to ask me out for dinner. Hello, River Vegan. Garrett Smith was on today. Right? Vicky says, if this took them 7 hours plus Friday to get this done, this is going to be the longest trial in history. You know what I said to Mr. Linda? I looked at him and said, Listen, on August 30th to September 3rd, just chuck food under the door. Because I'm going to be there. So you can take the family and go on vacation. I'm basically going to be there from morning to night every day. And it's probably going to go longer than the 3rd. Because what do we have for the dates? I think it was the 30th to the 3rd, right? Something like that. Do I have that somewhere? Yeah. Just fill my water bottle up and chuck me some food under the thing because it's going to be a long one. I sincerely hope Wood stays. That will send a message to them that they can't dismantle the prosecution on a whim. Oh, wouldn't that be good? They're stalling until Jesus returns and gets Lori off. Believe it. Pryor loves, yeah. Okay, see, you saw it too. The judge was so fun to watch. He was rolling his eyes, twisting in his chair. He did a good eye roll, a really good one. I'm going to find it. I'm going to post it. Scott Reich said, with social media available, this will be a bigger trial than OJ. I believe it. And that was actually the first trial I followed back in the 90s. That's like me and my dad would talk about that all the time as a trial. And we used to listen to it basically on radio because there was no, and TV, there wasn't internet at that point. Don't think. The judge was going in on Pryor. Yeah, it was funny. I'm going to move to Canada. You have room, Linda? Sure. I'm half Italian. Come on over. Just eat. Manja, manja. That's it. Julianne says, after watching this today, I can't even imagine what Dr. T's trial is going to be. Oh, man. Yep. That's going to be another one. But I don't think anybody's going to, I don't think they don't pull shadies on the, like with Michael Allen and stuff. I think John Pryor is a special kind of lawyer in a sense where he'll do whatever it needs to. He'll do whatever he needs to, in my opinion. Will I be attending the trial? It depends if there's COVID or not. Maybe. That's a good question. Depends if I can get out of the country. Okay, I won't post it. But, you know, in fairness, maybe he was rolling his eyes because he had something stuck in his eye, right? He could. He could have had something stuck in his eye and just like... just coincidentally happened when John was yapping. Wouldn't it be great if Summer was called as a witness on behalf of Rob Wood? Thanks for the super chat. I want to find out. I like that Troy Evans said, hey, how can we remedy this? Like, I can't remember the words he used, but he said, you know, like, how can we... What did he say? What's the remedy? What's the remedy to coaching? And so the law professor went through that. Yeah, I was all over the place today. Wonder if the judge is just like seriously going like, man, that could have taken 2 hours. Why did it take 7? Thank you, Angelina. Thank you. Oh, you guys have some great Halfway Blonde says, this is just a delay tactic. The longer we wait, the more the shock value of what they've done wears off. Yeah, no, I'm going to keep going. And it's going to be interesting what Pryor has to say when he wants these charges to be dismissed. Hello, Algo. Algo1 says it could have taken 15 minutes. Potential, well, maybe a little bit longer, but still, not 7 hours. Melanie says, I bet the judge had a few drinks tonight. I would too. Holy man, it was a long day. I am exhausted, Stephanie. I really am. I haven't had a whole lot of sleep in the last couple of days, and then today, and then, like I said, I want to do the boys' video. I spent 5 hours on their interview, so I really want to get that out. No, there wasn't a final decision. So what's happening now is they ended at 5 p.m. pretty close to that, and they're going Friday afternoon at 1 p.m. So they're going to continue this, and we'll see what happens on Friday, and he's going to rule on that. But I'm leaning towards that he's not going to go off the case, and I don't think that Rob would excuse himself from the case either. Yeah, I don't think the shock value would either. This is crazy. They can't get away with it. I'm not stopping these videos until they do. I'm not stopping these videos until it's finalized. Yeah, Catherine, you're right. She says, I don't think the way in which these children ended up will reduce the shock value. Everyone keeps waiting for other charges, and I think there will be loads more shock value during the trial. Yeah, we haven't even seen all there is. The discovery is like crazy, thousands of pages or something to that effect. It's crazy. I think this is it's going to be like the Gannon Stout case too. It's going to be worse. This is just the beginning. Yeah, that's true. That's what I have that right on the page. What if she was never called as a witness? And they said, if it's not important to the case, then don't think it'll rise to the level of undue process. Brenda says, it aggravated me that Rob seemed to agree with Summer when she implied that Lori was such a wonderful person until she met Chad. Thank you for your super chat. I really, really appreciate it. So, and your question, or your comment. I can see how you would say that. However, it's true that we keep hearing how wonderful she was until she met Chad, but that's what people are saying from the outside of what they know of Lori, right? But when you take a deeper look and you know the shenanigans she's done, she's been manipulating far before she was romantically involved with Chad, I'll say, because she did all kinds of crazy stuff to Joseph, all kinds of crazy stuff to Charles, like um, before it got to where it did. So, for example, she'd take everything all the way down to right down to his underwear away from him. So there's all kinds of manipulations. But if you ask their friends, it was like, well, she was really great, like these things happened to her, but she's really, really great. She's a great mom. She's, so we did hear that. And we also heard not everybody, a lot of people say, but by December 2018, something happened. So it's hard. It did sound like at the end he was a little bit just emotional about justice for Tylee and JJ, and for I'm talking about Rob Wood, and for these little bracelets. So I was like, oh, was he supposed to be like that? Maybe not as a lawyer, but he's also human. And I mean, I'm not even close to that case in that manner, and I'm affected. You guys are affected. I mean, I poured in hours and hours and hours into these research and videos and all that. Of course, we're affected. Wouldn't be human if we weren't. Hi, Shannon. Thank you so much. Yes, I am dedicated to this. We all are, right? We want to see the truth come out. We want to see the murder charges coming. We want to see the appropriate people that are responsible for the deaths of Tylee, JJ, Charles, everybody else, whoever else is involved and died. We want to see justice for them, Tammy. Rob Wood did look a little deflated today when he was sitting in there. He did a little bit, in my opinion. Not always, but there was moments where he looked a little deflated. I could understand that. That sucks. Vista Mars says, watching this live completely changed my mood and frustration. Been following your channel since before the background change, and it gets better and better. Thank you. Oh, when it was like a weird yellow goldy color that you watched. I might tweak a little bit more too in the background. We'll see. Linda says, she is a con who has power in her words and looks so honest. The police were taken in by her looks, jokes, and distracting them. Yeah, it was weird. Did you guys see my live with Annie Cushing and Noor the other night? Annie made some really great points about her, and it's just Lori being Lori, I guess. Because in that recording, they talked about Lori, and they talked about, what else did they say? I'm just trying to remember. Something about the jail call. I would love to hear the jail call between Lori and Summer. I think we all would. The story about the bracelets. Where is that? At the end of the recording, Summer was offering bracelets that she made for Tylee and JJ. She offered them to Rob. It's like, here, do you want to take a bunch? This is for Tylee and JJ. I made them. I have a lot of them. You're welcome to take them if you like. And so he said, absolutely. I reckon they're all holding back till you reach 144,000. Woohoo, double celebration. Thank you, Mandy. That's funny. You know, I'm at 138. When do you guys think I'll be at 144? I'm thinking end of January, maybe February, January or February. I'll be at 144. Quick, everybody share this video so we can get to 144 by Friday. No, maybe it'll be the motion to dismiss, right? I'll be 144 by then. We've got to have some sort of celebration because Lori didn't get that. Psychopaths have the commonality of being able to charm. It's very true. Very true. I like your profile pic. It's cute. Okay. Tiffany says, I'm honestly surprised this judge even humored this with this hearing. And then I saw, where did it go? It just jumped. Since Lori was caught with Tylee's ATM card in Hawaii, are there no charges for it? You know what? This is the weird, maybe not weird thing, but this is what we've seen, okay? Lori used Charles' credit card while he was dead and purchased a bunch of things on Amazon, namely her and Chad's wedding rings, the malachite rings, wedding attire and shoes and beachwear on Charles's credit card, who's dead. Pretty sure that's fraud, right? Pretty sure. No charges. She used Tylee's card in Hawaii. No charges. What was the other things? Oh, she stole from Charles. And she also technically stole his vehicle. Well, it was a rental vehicle. The day he died. She can do whatever she wants and get away with it. If you haven't seen my video, a lot of you who are what's the word? Regulars have seen it. But if you haven't seen my video, go look at my Secret Society video. That'll tell you a lot. And I point out everything about the Book of Mormon and what they like to refer to, and how that coincides in not getting charged, getting away with things, getting away with everything that I've mentioned. It's very interesting. I highly recommend watching that. And that'll tell you a lot, and you'll be like, holy man, this is exactly what's going on. Yeah, I want to see the jail call. I don't know this question. Does anybody know? I'm thinking she does, but I'm not sure. Well, I don't know. John Pryor bought Chad's house. Is Chad's daughter living at the house still? Anyone know? Don't know that. I'm assuming yes, and I heard that Colby has moved to Idaho with his family. I heard that as well. Yes, Summer made the bracelets for Tylee and JG's school friends. Yes, and teachers, she said, yes. How funny it was to watch Mark Means hearing how he was clueless and had no idea what he is doing. He took it very good, I think, today. Like, better than what I thought he would. Michelle says, to the individuals that want to believe that Lori was impressionable by Chad, I ask you to think, how was Alex so impressionable to do the things he did to two husbands of Lori? That wasn't Chad. Yeah, both of them. I think Chad and Lori together are the perfect storm, so to speak. They fed off each other, in my opinion. I think it was a case of like two forces and joining and just one big mess. Yes, I did hear Melanie Gibb married David Warwick as well. Oh, Colby has been posting vlogs on his YouTube channel. Yeah. Hi, Tanya. I haven't seen you in a while. Nice to see you. I haven't checked out Colby's videos in a while now. I did a little, I think it was Thanksgiving that I checked out his channel. Cannot wait to hear about zombies during the trial. It's going to be very interesting. Very, very interesting. Just search Colby Ryan on his on YouTube, and I think it should come right up. Yes, there is a continuation of today's hearing. It's going to be on Friday at 1 p.m. This is correct, Flame Lily. Mark Means is not experienced in criminal law. That's a fact. Saying that is just the truth, not putting him down. Yeah, that's just a fact. He isn't experienced in it. That's just a fact. G-Dubs says, if Wood doesn't get taken off, we'll have a portal party. When you get to 144,000 subs, we'll all ditch our kids, marry a stranger, and build a tent city. Yeah, you know, I won't ditch my kids. That Chad Daybell, I'll tell you this. I have a video in the works about Chad Daybell. I haven't done one on him like this yet. I just got to wait a little bit longer. It's coming because he should not have his charges dismissed. There's some serious things wrong if that happens. Serious. But John Pryor's a little bit, remember he said a long time ago, like, my client doesn't run. And I was like, I think it was the next day or 2 days after I was given a video and I was like naming 3 different times. Was it 2 or 3 times that, yes, Chad likes to run. Chad's a runner. Chad flees when he can. Thank you to G-Dubs for the super chat. I meant to tell you that. Patrick says, hi, I like the way you present and enjoy watching. Thank you. Lori and Chad are mentally dysfunctional, literally, but for whatever reason, the two of them exacerbate any situation. Yeah, I think they're in their own world. They're not insane. They just believe what they want to believe. And the dysfunction is real for sure. Karen says, do you think Garrett Smith released the recordings to Means for exposure? He wants his name to be out there, more business for him, and he can charge a higher fee. I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I got to look into this more, but I feel like if we want to talk about ethics, why did Garrett actually record it? What did he really do that for? And why was it like set up in this manner? I don't know. Especially when he first came on. Where is that? He first came on and he was doing a little bit of word salad. Where was it? I'm going to find it. because it was right in the beginning and I thought, what is he talking about? Because Rob actually shook his head no. It was right in the beginning. And yeah. Because he says, I didn't remember. I don't remember when I recorded it. I don't think I told him that I was recording. I might have told him that I was recording, something to that effect, he says. And then Rob is like sitting there like, nuh-uh. So that was the very beginning. This is the problem I've had too. I haven't read any of his books, which is, in one aspect, I really want to so that I could learn more about him. And I was the same way. I didn't want him to make money off of it. I know. Maybe I could figure out a way. Big spender on that ring, yeah. Patrick says, I'm sure if you pick up a book on outer space, it'll be about the same thing as anything Chad wrote, with a couple things thrown in. I wonder if maybe his next book would be how to pick up women saying that they've been together before in multiple probations. Be like a guidebook. I did hear, who did I hear from? Nate Eaton said that Lori still reads Chad's books in jail. There you go. You can send it to me then. And then I'll pass it on too, so that quarter can stretch. There you go. Mimi says Secret Society video, great stuff. Yeah, it's interesting because it starts to put the little pieces together. I would love to do a live with Nate Eaton. It's just Robbie says, could you imagine someone telling you that we were married before in a different mortal probation? Oh, wait, I'm from Springville, Utah. I can completely imagine this. I say this all the time. I joke about this in ways where, like, if I was somewhere and a guy came up to me and was like, we were together in multiple probations before, and I'm with my, my girlfriends, I'd be like, girls, we're going. Let's get out of here. I don't know what's up with this guy, but he's just a little weird. No. Especially it's a slimy thing. I mean, it's one thing if you're having a conversation and maybe he's putting it different, but like, hey, we've been together 5 times before in multiple probations. Isn't that impressive? And he knows, I don't know. And he gauges it like she's going, oh, really? And he's going, yep, I got one. It's weird. It's just weird. Yes, I would too. I would love to do a live with Stephanie Harlow. Absolutely would love. one of the things that we talked about previously was the Gannon Stoke case. So perhaps when that comes back, that we can maybe coordinate if she'd like to. Hello, fellow Canadian. Welcome. Yeah. Oh, you mean you wouldn't say that? That's great. That's great. I don't know. Angie says, I just wonder when she or if she snaps out of this trance she's in, she realizes that the kids are gone. Summer said something in the recording, something about, I can't remember exactly. It was something about like she doesn't really realize the gravity of it. I'll have to re-listen to it, but that's where actually Rob says, well, I think she knows what she did. All right. You guys are having all kinds of chats in there. Yeah, so, whew, that's that. Does anybody have the updates on the missing boys? I'm going to be working on that tonight and tomorrow, and I'm going to dive into that because I really, really would like to learn more and get the information out. And tomorrow, look for the video on the interview because I'm breaking it down. It's a good question. How can you go from being on top of it as a mom to just killing them and be, oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. She goes to her, what she thinks is her manual in the Book of Mormon, and she manipulates the meaning to make it fit what she wants. Like she says, well, it says there in the Book of Mormon that I could kill. I can kill. It doesn't, but she says that's how it is. All right, so a couple more minutes, you guys, and then I have to go. Nothing about Alexis Sharkey yet. We're still waiting on her toxicology. Yeah. Oh, where did I see that? Got up this morning, turned on a live feed of the court and was here all day. Yep. Okay, so here's a good one here. Maria says, I think Garrett recorded the meeting to assist the defense team. This is what I'm wondering. I'm wondering what's going on. Why didn't he just say, hey, you know what? Let's get back on topic. He didn't. So, Opal, can someone update? Basically today there was a court case. There was a court hearing between the lawyers, pretty much. The defense team, Mark Means and John Pryor, want Rob Wood off the case. They're saying He basically was unprofessional. There was misconduct. He was trying to coerce and coach Summer Shiflett, so they want him off the case. And so now they didn't finish today, and they're going to do that on Friday at 1 p.m. Hello, Anna. Nice to see you. Yeah, so yeah, he did say Summer was the one who wanted this meeting and was leading it. Yeah. So Summer was asking questions. So I would like to know what was said prior to that. What was said before? So interesting. So yeah, there's a couple things basically that needs to be answered. And it's the unofficial compared to the official transcript. The professionals got the unofficial one from Mark Means. Why not give him the official one? Why? And that's a big one. How many years is this case going to take? Chad must be growing a beard with no chin foundation. Hold it. I don't know. I hope it doesn't take a long time. It was supposed to be this month that they were going to do it, and then they pushed it out to August, right? All right. So you guys have any more questions before I hop off? Because I have to go and do a little bit of work for this video and for tomorrow, and you'll see me in there. Time to decompress. Yeah, it's been a long day. I've been up since 6, and time to go to sleep soon. Yeah. All right. Well, you guys, it's been 2 hours already. How did that just get there? Hey, I love chatting with you guys. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. We are going to have some fun things this year coming to It's a Crime, and some more variety of videos. We're going to have more guests. We are going to have, what else? More creators on. There's going to be all kinds of good stuff coming. And I am going to do a variety, like I said, of videos. And there's just going to be some different things coming. So I have a whole list. I'm super nerdy. And so every year I do goals for every area in my life. I do that every year. And so this is going to just get better and better. I'm going to improve my videos. I'm going to improve my live streams. It's going to be good. It's just little by little, right? And welcome to the members also who are coming into the crime ring. If you see the green highlighted, those are the members who are joining. All right. Yeah, lots of goals. I do. There's lots of things coming. One of the things that I did say on the live stream with Profiling Evil the other night, and I talked to my crime ring about it a little bit, is I have an idea for an invention of a product that's going to hopefully change the game. But we got to see. I got to see patents and all this other stuff. So I don't know yet, but that's just a little tiny info snack. Welcome, Zuki. Muffler guy hasn't been around, but maybe because I've been recording at different hours, perhaps. Get some sleep. Okay, you guys, I'm going to say goodnight. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. And I thought it was going to be quick, but it's 2 hours again. You know how it goes. And we'll see you tomorrow. If you have any information you'd like to pass along to me, you can pass it to itsacrimeandashame@gmail.com. And it'll take me a little bit of time to run through because I do get a lot of stuff. But if you do have some information, I'd really, really appreciate it. It helps a lot in so many ways. So we'll talk to you. We'll talk to you later. And I'm seeing some questions about my membership. It ranges, different levels. From only a few dollars and up, and it's different tiers. So thanks so much, you guys. I hope you're having a really great 2021 so far. We're almost at the first week, so it's just going to get better from here. Let's just say that. All right. Good night, you guys. Make sure you give a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and we'll see you in the next video. Good night.